Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Sport Management Association Alumni Interview Series. I'm Gavin, and today we're speaking with Joe Manhertz, the Associate Director of Athletics and Major Gifts at the University of Duke, and a 1998 graduate of the Sport Management Program here at The Ohio State University. Joe, thank you for being here today, and how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Good. So today we're just going to start off by, can you give us a description of your career journey so far and how you ended up at Duke?
For me, I really think back to when it started playing football and basketball at Colgate and trying to understand what I wanted to do, whether it was going to Wall Street or really figure out what it was I wanted to do. I thought I was going to play in the NFL like every kid playing college football did. When I realized really quickly that wasn't going to happen, I started thinking about what was next. I was offered a job at Dun & Bradstreet upon graduating, decided to pass on that job and really took an internship at Colgate and worked in the athletic department for a little stipend. And it was another Ohio State grad who was the softball coach at the time, Katie Flynn, told me that I should really look at getting my master's in the program she went to at Ohio State. It was great. And from there, I applied to Ohio State, got an assistantship in development. Such an experience to learn how such a large operation worked with Scarlett Schmidt and Denny Hoover, Andy Geiger and all those guys. They were just amazing. Tom Hofe, just really amazing people to work with. And felt so fortunate to do my coursework at Ohio State and also have that real world experience in the assistantship. And I really feel like we were kind of the last breeds of graduate assistants, because I think now the popularity of sport, people do it for free and there's interns, and it's unfortunate because grad school is paid for that way for me, and I wish that that was still going on for folks. But really working at Ohio State and then opening the Schottenstein Center, just used my relationships with folks at Ohio State and work ethic and got a job as the event services manager, which was in facilities, and that was a lot different. I liken it to being in development, working banking hours, to then going to event management, and working all hours. It was eye-opening. It was a great experience for me, and I'm glad I did it. It showed me I had the work ethic and the durability to do it, but I really enjoyed the one-on-one atmosphere of fundraising and being around people. And so that led me to Syracuse. That's a great experience, and really got to build a program for a Power 5 school. It was amazing the things we did there, enhancing the annual fund, making it many major gifts, and then putting seats on the floor of the Carrier Dome, and boxes in the Carrier Dome, and making it really just a club level versus putting more suites. So the impact there, and being around Jim Boeheim and Paul Pasqualoni, it was just amazing to be around such power coaches. And then coming back to Ohio State and getting to know Thad Matta and Jim Schultz, and Gene Smith, just titans, really good people, really good people. So, leaving Ohio State was tough. Good people. Martin Jarman, worked with him. Pat Chun was a really good guy. There's so many, I could go down the list and name a bunch. But, being at Duke now for 10 years has been special. And I laugh because, I've worked at Syracuse fan, Patrick Ewing, John Thompson. And then I go to Syracuse and become a fan. And I was a Carolina guy with Michael Jordan. Then I get to Duke. It's funny. I absolutely love this place. It's a great institution, and couldn't ask for anything more.
You truly have a pretty incredible career journey so far, and I think everyone's going to enjoy hearing that. You mentioned at the beginning that you're a college athlete. Tell us about your time as an athlete and about your transition from being a college athlete and into the job market and real world.
Man, that was a long time ago, and probably about 60 or 80 pounds ago, as I say. I think college athletics, athletics in general, it really teaches you so many different things. One, I think the most important part of it is learning how to be a team member, a great teammate. Whether it's football, basketball, if you like getting into basketball. I've been on teams where I've been expected to be the leading scorer. I've been on teams where I just go rebound and play defense and set picks. Now more and more in pickup basketball, I'm the great pick setter. They're not looking for me to score anymore. And I think it's you really get to figure out what role you have to play. And I think that's the really true blessing of sport. And the other aspect of it is that you transition into the real world, the working world is, accountability, to your teammates, to the mission, to the what's critical, what's there, what's in front of you. And also, if you played sports, especially team sports, you've had a coach yell at you a couple times, and you take it. Especially football, you make a mistake, you screw up, run it over again, move the ball 5 yards, you screw up. Come on, Joe, don't be stupid. Get your head out of your, what. So you take that, as an athlete, and you kick a wall, you kick dirt, and you go back at it. And so now you transition that to working in the real world. Can't talk to people in that same way, but understanding that if you've got a boss that's tough, you can take it. You understand it. You don't take it as personal as some that haven't been through that take it. I think it's also important that when you go to management, you can't force everyone to into that aspect of it as well. But I think the one thing that sports has helped me the most is I can take and give feedback, and it used to be criticism, constructive criticism. I can actually have a conversation with people and say, here's what I expect of you, and here's why. And I'm not picking on you. I'm just trying to tell you what I need from you. And if someone comes to me and says that's what they need from me, you know what? I'm not going to get angry or upset. Got it. I'll take it. I'll learn better. And, question a little bit. And I think that's the one thing that you can do is as long as you have an environment where your boss lets you question authority, question it to the point, but don't always be the person picking at your boss. Maybe you're doing what they need you to do, but if you perform, they'll give you some leeway to question.
Yeah, as a current college athlete, he's going to be going through that transition here pretty soon. I know it's really interesting to hear kind of the same thing I've been hearing and what you just mentioned. So I'm excited to see how that transition goes for myself. Back to the Ohio State days, after finishing finishing schooling and your athletic career at Colgate, you had already mentioned a conversation that sparked your interest for Ohio State for grad school. Was there anything else that made you choose Ohio State for grad school?
Looking around at that time, some of the best programs were Ohio State, Oregon was budding, and we had just lost our director of our program, Dr. Howard, had gone to Oregon. OU was strong, and I think it was Springfield or UMass. I think UMass was strong, and UMass was strong for. If I can remember correctly, again, I don't want to disparage any of those programs. UMass was strong for their placement and their internship. OU was strong for their coursework, because I think you got a dual degree, MBA and sport management degree. And Oregon was just up and coming, and I think they had a bunch of funding from Nike, and kind of before they had all the uniforms, it was kind of the hot new thing. And Ohio State was just that steady, the mixture of coursework and real world experience because of the nature of the athletic department. So that was what did it for me. It was the chance to have that real world experience and get my education paid for, because I didn't really understand what a graduate assistantship was at that point. I was ready to take out a loan and pay for it, and then coming in for the interview, it was I interviewed in the ice rink, development, and marketing, and I think one other. And I didn't know what development was. And I remember saying, wait a minute, development is, you mean I can talk sports and money for a living? Well, shit, sign me up. And I've been doing it ever since.
Talk about your time in the sport management program here, and what are some of your favorite memories from the program?
There were just so many good people in the program, whether they're in sports or out of sports, just really just all the laughs in class, working on the projects. And it really was the old Larkins Hall. So the building now, I remember going in this old closet, and just it's really, really bad before they built all the new facilities. But it was just, the professors they really cared and they really pushed you. Dr. Pastori, Cella, they were awesome, and they taught you. We Dr. Weaver was there. It was a really good time, really good classmates. Keep in touch with some of them now, but now, I lived with one. It was the first time I'd lived with a female, and she was hilarious. We're great friends today. We laugh and joke. She works in New York City now, so whenever I go to New York City, we try and catch up. And I'll be in a cab driving down Broadway and see her walking out of the MSG and scream at her, and she'll flick me off. So it's just those friendships, that time, being around. And I remember the best memory was working in athletics and having an intramural basketball team. And we were really, really good. We had all these athletes, former athletes, and we were crushing teams. And one time we showed up one game late, we were ready, and some team beat us. They forfeited us. They had to cancel it. We were like, whoa, what just happened? And I'm probably gonna get shot for speaking about this because we're never gonna speak of this again. We got beat, and then we wound up winning the championship because that game set us straight. But we still laugh to this day about that game and that intramural game where we thought we were so good. We're gonna beat everybody we play. We got crushed. We got absolutely crushed. And so that was a good time.
Fun to watch.
Yeah, we were fun. We had size, we had speed. As I said, that was about 60 pounds ago. So.
After grad school, you mentioned you had the opportunity to work at Syracuse and Ohio State. Here at Ohio State as for the director of development. Tell us a little bit more about that time, your roles and responsibilities, and what you liked about that time.
It was a great time. That was with Jim Tressel when I came back. And Thad Mata and all the coaches, Lori Walker, all the coaches that we worked with, just really, really good people. Gene Smith was such a mentor to me and a leader, and showed me so many different things and how to act and how to interact with people. I think the world of that man and what he's done for Ohio State. And really, it really fostered a chance for me to see how to really treat people special that give and invest in the student athletes. I think that's the biggest part of it. Everyone chases money, everyone wants to fundraise, but Gene and Sheila Smith showed me essentially how you really make people feel special because of what they do and how they invest in kids, and make it a kid business and make it about the kids and the student athletes. And so I think that was an awesome responsibility. I didn't have some of the popular regions, but I was a road warrior. I got in the car and I drove to Zanesville and got people to give money from Zanesville and Akron. Didn't really have the big places like Cleveland or Toledo or even Cincinnati, but I went to places, and then I went to New York City for a little bit on behalf, but I didn't get in planes too much. What I do now, I'm on a plane just about every week before this COVID-19 deal here, but it was just a road warrior, just being out and about and talking to people and asking them to support Ohio State different ways, and really it was a little bit of leverage, asking people to support and get tickets and things of that nature, but turning it from transactional to philanthropic, you go back and forth. But I would say I did a lot more transactional gifts at Ohio State because you've got so much inventory with Ohio Stadium, and you give X amount and get access to seats here, there, and things of that nature.
After that, you made the transition from Ohio State to Duke. You mentioned it was hard to leave Columbus. How was that transition?
Transition was good. I think Duke gave me an opportunity to really take it to the next level. In being able to come into Duke and really create a major gifts division at such an accomplished institution was just such an unbelievable opportunity, and really lay the groundwork to run an athletic campaign where we had a goal of $250 million, and we raised $341 million. And being able to put everything together, from creating a major gifts team to creating all the paperwork in the pledge forms. We didn't have anything. You could just say, hey, so-and-so promised they're going to give X amount over 5 years. You could take that as the pledge, and no. Let's make this really how it should be. If you're going to pledge something, let's get documentation. Let's make it right. And tell you the truth, I copied exactly what Ohio State did. And then our legal team put some Duke institution of it. So, taking something, taking that folder when you leave someplace, say, hey, we did this here, let's put it here. But, essentially the transition was amazing to be able to run that and do that. And now being here 10 years is really kind of just setting up folks that have worked for me to replace me and to get them in a place where they can go lead their own shop or lead this shop when I try and move on and take the next thing. But that's been the best part, is even now transitioning to more sport administration and working with people. Being here 10 years, I've got a core group of people that I can work with, that I'm not really trying to do the discovery and some of the director of development work that you normally do, and just working with people that have given and getting them to give again and having that relationship. So, and it's something that an Ohio State guy that I called on there taught me, Curtis Wilson, works at Amex. He taught me relationships matter. And that couldn't be more true than anything in life. Relationships matter. I think that aspect is really what's made the transition easy. Relationships. I like to be the life of the party. I like to have fun. If you're going to be around Joe, you're going to have fun. I'm going to make it hard for you to say no when I ask you for money. And so we're going to do great things. And I learned that from Gene and Sheila, doing things, taking people out to dinner, having big dinners, and having a group dinner, and taking a group to an away football game. And the night before the game, you don't get to sit next to your spouse. You can sit across from your spouse, but you've got to find your seat location because you send us a baby picture. And so you go around the room and look at all the placemats, and it's a picture of people in their baby picture. And so it's just little things like that. It's just I take that from Ohio State and implement it here. And again, I'm a copycat, but I look like a genius because no one knows that. So.
Well, I'm glad the transition was really well for you, and you've really enjoyed your time at Duke. What are some of the biggest challenges of your career?
Biggest challenge in my career, when I was younger, I was always negative. I was a little too much into gossip and, hey, did you hear this? Did you hear that? And just caught up in too much garbage, and thinking that I knew more than I did. And I think that's the aspect that if I could do it over again, I'd stay away from that. And then I also, I would say, to you guys coming through this program, everybody wants to advance. Everyone wants to be the AD, the next AD at Ohio State. Everybody wants that. Whether you're at Ohio State or anywhere else in college athletics, that's an aspirational goal. And don't ever lose that desire, but understand, master what's in front of you, and you'll be so much better. Don't look for the next thing until you master what's in front of you. And so I think that's the aspect that I would look at, is just to slow down and do the things that you need to do, and stay focused. Stay focused because everyone in your program that wants to work in college athletics is going to want pretty much the same job you're in. And so it's cutthroat, it's tough, but again, relationships matter. If you get relationships with people, you win in the end.
Who is someone that made a great impact on you throughout your professional career?
Oh, there's so many people. I look to Gene. I look to my current athletic director. I look to the first athletic director I worked with, Mark Murphy. Um, Jake Krauthamel at Syracuse. There's so many, but at the end of the day, it's my mom. My mom. She is just the toughest woman I know. She's taught me so much. You reap what you sow. Be good to people, be kind to people. But my mom has been through it all, and so without her, I wouldn't be where I am today. She sacrificed so much for me, and I try and pay it back day by day by even making my kids call their grandmother just to speak to her. Even don't ever show this to her, but I even bribe them to spend the night when we go home. I don't spend the night at her house, but my kids do. And I take them to the mall, and they get $50 to buy. Now it's $100 to buy a pair of shoes. So if they spend at least one night with their grandma, but she's my guiding light. She has been and always will be.
That's so awesome. How has COVID-19 affected your job, and how have you had to adapt to the new working conditions?
Man, Gavin, this is brutal. This is brutal. As I told you, I have custody of my kids on Mondays and Tuesdays and every other weekend. So every Wednesday morning, I drop them off at school, and I pretty much get on a plane and go and travel just about every week. And I was just used to it. And it's just how I rolled and how I coped getting through a divorce. And I've been doing that for 7 years now. And so now that's just come to a grinding halt. And so it's stopped me from being places that I didn't want to be. But my goodness, my kids are up there.
Speaking of those kids,
my goodness, it stopped me from being places where I wanted to be. But like as I said, relationships matter. I closed a $6 million gift last night with a prospect that I've been working on for 6 months. So it's affected me to an extent, but I think over the last 2 weeks I've closed $6 million, 1.5 million, and 1.2 million. So we're looking at different ways to announce that publicly. But that's all coming to a close, but that didn't start a week ago, and then from start to finish, that started years ago in relationships. So, I think you're going to see the impact of what this is because I haven't been able to go and meet people and share ideas. And one of the things that was said about me in my review that I think about a lot is that I try and make people around me find what's important to them and link it to the priority that we have at Duke. And I think that's been harder through a screen. We're one-on-one. It's easier to communicate. I'm terrible at email, but I'm better on the phone and over a drink or over dinner. That's where I can give anybody a run for their money. For emailing, I'm going to come in last in that one, but that's okay. I think it's from that standpoint. I want to be face to face and get interacting with people. It's been tough to do that now, but I trust the process, and when I'm able to, I'll get up and get going again.
Well, Joe, now that we got all through the business questions and career questions, and we're gonna go with some fun questions here.
All right, here we go.
What was some of your favorite memories from your time in Columbus?
I got to live with two buddies from high school my first year there, and we lived in an apartment. And when I graduated, my mom came out, and we had a graduation party, and we had a spread, and it was just so much fun to see people from college, people from high school, and people from grad school all together at one point. So I like that. I don't know if the restaurant's there anymore, but man, the biscuits at the cooker were amazing. The biscuits at the cooker were amazing. Just being we lived on Kenny Road. Just being up there was a lot of fun. One of my jobs was being on the sideline of Ohio State for home games, checking credentials. And I remember walking into the equipment room, and they're giving me the sneakers, the gear, the pants, the golf shirt, the rain jacket, the hat. And I just remember saying, wait, this is all mine? I get to keep it? And Gavin, I tell you, I ran out of there so fast, I could be Carl Lewis in the Olympics that day because I didn't want him to take it back. And so I just remember getting all the gear in that instance. But it was just a lot of fun. Columbus is a great town. Having people come in for games. I remember my first Ohio State football game, hearing the band march into the stadium with the chant, don't give a damn about the whole state of Michigan. Just like, wait, what? Like that's amazing. And so seeing that, and then I think one of my last games, I was able to secure tickets. This is when I'm not in grad school, but when I lived in Columbus, the second time, secured tickets for my whole neighborhood. And we all went to the Ohio State-Michigan game. And I remember Rich Rodriguez was the Michigan coach, and they were driving out, and we were tailgating in St. John Arena a lot. And the bus was driving through, and you could see Rich Rodriguez sitting in the front of the bus with the most miserable look on his face. And we were standing there all just waving by and just laughing. That was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. You mentioned the cooker. Where else were some of your favorite places to eat in Columbus?
Oh man, Thurman Burger.
Ooh.
Yeah, oof. That was always good. Thurman Burger. The Buckeye Hall of Fame Cafe. And then the buddies I lived with in high school owned a Papa John's Pizza. I think it was on Indianola. I don't know if it's still there, but that was the place that I always went to. I delivered pizzas for them my first year, so I always had Papa John's Pizza, or not Papa John's, Papa Joe's Pizza.
Oh, okay.
Papa Joe's on Indianola.
Still there.
Papa Joe's. Yeah, on Indianola. Yep.
Well, Joe, we can't thank you enough for joining us today. We really appreciate your time, and we know our audience will value hearing from you. And to everyone watching, thank you for tuning in to this episode of our Sport Management YouTube channel, and we'll see you again soon.
Thanks. Take care, Gavin. Good luck to you.